It's day 11 of the 12 days of player development. Let's go, y'all. I bit off more than I could chew with this content, but it's happening. We almost there. Today, we're gonna talk about the 8 ways player development can transform your program. Yes, player development can transform your program. And maybe you're a coach, maybe you're an athletic director, maybe you're a youth coach, whoever you may be, right? Maybe you're a general manager, right? Shout out to the GMs at the pro level and GMs at the collegiate level that's growing, right? And you're like, we need something to help transform this program. Player development is the way. Number 1, it strengthens team culture and accountability. When I was in the role, I was making sure I strengthened our team culture by doing what our head coach said our culture was going to be through our program. If we were going to be, I remember I worked at Houston, one of our deals, we were going to be respectful to women, then we were going to have programming that talked about that, right? And we had held players accountable, right? But with that team culture, I would take the message from the coach and I would take it in my program. I would take it in the conversations I would have with players, right? And I'm holding those players accountable to the culture that our head coach has set, to the culture that our program, our players have set as well. This is our culture. This is how we do things. I'm holding you accountable to that culture. Well, you know, it ain't no man, us, right? I'm holding you accountable to our culture. I'm holding you accountable to who you said you were going to be as an athlete. I'm holding you accountable to what we expect from you. And that's when player development can transform your program. That professional, when it's done right, is going to sit there and say, hey, I'm going to strengthen the team culture and the accountability of the players in this program. Number 2, your program goes from a coach-led program to a player-led program. Going back to number 1. Why? Because I'm sitting there, you have this professional that's sitting there infusing the culture into the players and holding them accountable. So what happens is players take this, players take it on, and the program starts becoming more player-led. Players are starting to lead things. Players are starting to accept accountability and responsibility. So they're liking RNA. I like the responsibility. I like the accountability. I like being held accountable. I don't mind holding my teammate accountable because I understand what healthy accountability looks like. And now that team is going to a team where the coach doesn't have to spend time, or the coaches don't have to spend so much time. Hey guys, the players like, no, we got this. We got this. We're going to do what we need to do. We know what's expected of us. And if something happens out of line, we're going to be able to provide accountability. We're going to be able to provide what's necessary to make sure that everybody is doing what's asked of them. Y'all, I've seen it happen before. It was incredible. Like one of the best player-led teams I've ever been around was the 2021 Baylor football team. And that team, we had incredible leadership. And we ended up winning the Big 12 championship. And it was a lot of factors to that. Incredible coaching staff. We had incredible support staff. We had incredible athletes. We had incredible, everything was great that year. But I will say that was a player-led team. And I know that some amount of that was because of me being a role and helping provide the team culture from the head coach and accountability with that. And that helped. That's the best player-led team I've ever been around. Now, you may be saying, who's this guy talking about all this stuff? My name is Ed Jones. I am the founder of Beyond the Field, where we develop people and elevate programs. And I was in the player development role at the University of Houston, University of Kansas, and Baylor University. I'm thankful you're here, and we're going to keep going. Number 3, this role, player development, can help transform your program because it reduces the noise and the drama that the coach has to go to. It happens all the time, right? And the distractions. It reduces the noise, drama, and distractions, right? How does that? You may say, well, hold on now, I want that. How does that happen? I was the academic liaison, so that wasn't on a coach's desk unless we had to get to that point where it was necessary, right? I was the campus liaison, so if anything happened on campus, right, housing, different things like that, they reached out to me. In certain roles, I've been the alumni engagement liaison, so if we had former players, I was the one that they had to come to. Some places I was a parent liaison. If something came from the parents, it would go through me to get to our coaches. I was a community liaison, so if we had to do something in the community, things that would come through me as well. And so what that did was that provided a reduction of the noise, drama, and distractions that the coach had to go through. Because by the time it got to him, after it got through me, it was something important, or I could give him an overview. Here's an overview. You don't need to know everything, right? Here's the overview. This is what you need to know just in case it comes somewhere. Someone catches you and I can't see you. A parent, comes to practice, talks to you about this. This is what you need to know, right? And I took pride in that. I took pride in in problem solving and critically thinking and filtering a lot of this stuff so it doesn't have to get to the coach. Everybody wants to get to the coach's staff, other people like that. And what player development can do is it can reduce all that for you. Hey, if you need that reduced, I'm telling you, don't miss out on that. Number four, it helps with continuity. Number four, it helps with continuity through change. So there's change is going to happen in athletics, right? Change is going to happen in sports. If you have a good season, your coach is going to get plucked, right? There's so much change now with it being transient with the transfer portal. They all can just get out and go to different schools, and coaches can get up and go as well, right? So there's a lot of transition that happens. And so this role, player development, can keep continuity through the change, right? Because, hey, this is how we develop players. This is our player development program, or this is our director of player development. This is how things happen. This is how we do it. So yeah, changes happen. That coach left. That player left. Maybe we didn't have a winning. We had a winning season. We had a losing season, right? That's a change, right? Circumstantial changes, right? Different things change. But we have this foundation of development of like, hey, this is what we do, right? And this is something that transforms our program, and it continues to keep us locked in throughout change. It keeps things steady while change happens. Steady's gonna shock some people, right? It's gonna move you a little bit, but player development is sitting there and holding that continuity through change, right? Because those things don't change. This is how we're gonna do things. This is who we're gonna help. This is how the systems still run, right? This is what's gonna happen. All right, now talking about player development, some of you coaches like, man, I want you to help me transform my program. If you want to do that, I'm doing coaching and consulting, and I'm really excited. Email me at edward@btfprogram.com. Also, get your copy for you and your coaching staff of the Player Development Guide. The Player Development Guide, I talk about myself in the role and so many more things, the benefits of player development, all these things here in this book I wrote from my time at the University of Houston, University of Kansas, and Baylor. Get your copy. It's the holiday season. Get you a copy. Get all your coaches a copy. Get them copies, all right? Now let's jump back to ways it will transform your program. Number 5, it changes how coaches are seen by players. It changes how coaches are seen by players because coaches, head coaches, if you have someone in player development who is there to develop the players, and you give that person the resources and that person the empowerment from you, players are going to see you differently. Players are going to say, man, my coach has somebody here to help me. My coaches work with Ed Jones to help me, right? And so they're going to see you differently. They're going to see you differently as, it's football, but it's also bigger than that, right? Player development is defined as the enhancement of the athlete experience through holistic and intentional programs and initiatives. They're going to know that, hey, my coach cares about the enhancement of my experience here. My coach cares. My coach cares. Why? Because he's got this person, because we're doing this program, because we have these resources, because this speaker came in, because we have this company, we're able to go to this company, we're in the community. My coach cares. It's going to change the way your players look at you. I'm telling you, man, let's cook it. Number 6, it reduces coaches burnout. It reduces coaches burnout. Coaches have a lot on their plate. We talked about reducing the distractions, but this reduces coach burnout, right? It's a lot, right? It's a lot. So I'll give you one story. When I was at Baylor University, we had this academic meeting. Everywhere I've been, academic meeting, you walk through every single player, every single assignment, everything. It's just a lot. It's like a 3-4 hour meeting. It's a lot. And so coaches would, the head coach brought me in. He's like, hey, we need to set this up a little different. Coaches are kind of on their phones and not paying attention, different things like that. And so I was like, cool. So what I did was I created a system that had a green, yellow, red, right? Green, yellow, red. Green were the guys that were doing it well. Yellow were the guys who, they on the fence. And red were the guys who academically weren't doing well. And so what that did was that helped our coaches get straight to it. Instead of this 4-hour meeting or 3-hour meeting where they're doing this, they could be doing recruiting as well. They got the list, and academics did an incredible job of going through. Shout out to Emily Durrat, and she would highlight everything so the coaches knew, all right, I got my quarterbacks, boom. I need to talk to this person, they're doing well, boom, boom, I'm done. 30 minutes, they can look at that, address the situation, and be back, right? So that's one less thing that's off their plate, right? And that reduces burnout. They got to recruit. They got to do all this. I already talked about being a filter to the parents. There's a lot, right? And this role can transform your program by reducing coach burnout. Now, another way you can reduce coach burnout is sending somebody from your coaching staff to the 2026 Player Development Summit, where we will have a gathering of player development, athlete development professionals who will be there learning. And your coach can bring all these techniques, right? All these things back and feel the hope and be filled with so much athlete development goodness as they go back to your campus. The 2026 Player Development Summit will be in Detroit. You click the link in the show notes for more information. And if you're a sponsor, you're like, hey, that sounds incredible. You're a business, you're an individual, company, whatever you may be, and you want to sponsor, click the link in the show notes. It'll take you to our website, sponsor, or you can email me at edward@btfprogram.com. We can talk about sponsorships. We would love to have you as a sponsor. Your ROI will be incredible. Number 7, it provides coaches better information. Yes. Like I have an episode here where I talked about the 11 questions you can ask athletes, and I was able to, in the role, go give coaches great information on their players. Why? Because their players would come talk to me. And so I give coaches the information. You know, I would share not everything with the player, but here's the synopsis of what's going on. So-and-so may not be having a great day because unfortunately his uncle passed away. Or so-and-so had a great test, they had a great score, they were really excited about the effort, and they're really, really excited. So bring it up, right? I would bring things up to help coaches. I used to be a coach before I got into player development. I know what it's like to have inside information, for lack of a better word, on a player, good or bad, right? And so you're able to get better information because this person in the player development role is spending time with players and is able to tell you things, right? I'll never forget, I was at one university and we were just getting ready to do programming, my first time doing programming, and there was a message that came from an academic advisor talking about these players and all this. And so I was like, all right, I went and talked to academics, and we found out it wasn't as bad as this person described it, that this person exaggerates, and that was something that they've been working with this advisor. Like, don't be exaggerating. You got to stop exaggerating because that's bad on our end. So I was able to go to get the information, get it back to our head coach. We were able to do programming. And the last one, number 8, it creates alignment and, the last one, number 8, it creates alignment across the entire building. I talked about this in communication on one of the days of player development. You can find it right here, but it creates alignment across the entire building, right? So you have player development. This person, like I said at the first one, who is strengthening the team culture and accountability by talking to the head coach, by learning, spending time with the head coach, is creating alignment across the entire building. So when I was in the role, I was able to there were conversations I would have with the head coach, and I would go talk to the strength coach, academics, sports med, equipment, the dietitian, compliance, facilities, recruiting, right? I was able to say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what coach is saying. This is what he wants. This is what it'll look like, right? There's opportunities to help create alignment across the entire building based off this is what coaches want the athlete experience to be. It is an incredible experience when there is alignment across the entire building. It is so good. And player development can help you with that. Well, those are the 8 ways to transform your program. I'll go over all 8 again. Number 1, it strengthens player development can transform your program by, number 1, strengthening team culture and accountability. Number 2, your team goes from a coach-led to player-led program. Number 3, it reduces noise, drama, and distractions. Number 4, you have continuity through change. Number 5, it changes how coaches are seen by players. Number 6, it reduces coach burnout. Number 7, provides coaches better information. Number 8, creates alignment across number 8, it creates alignment across the entire building. Ooh, that is a great episode right there, coaches. I hope you know how player development can transform your program.